Takes to the sky like a bird in flight, and who will be her lover? All your life you've never seen a woman taken by the wind. Would you stay if she promised you heaven? Will you ever win? Hello everybody, I hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome if you're new. If you're not, then welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it would be really fun to go over just how I met Dita, how she came into my life, how I acquired her, and then also a bit of how our story started. So a lot of you have probably been watching how we've been doing lately, and it kind of seems like, it's going pretty good, but it was a long road to get there, and I personally think this story is pretty inspiring. I hope anyways that it can inspire some of you if you have similar goals and dreams, especially if you're young and you don't feel like it's possible to get there, because honestly I didn't either, but I just kept trying. So I'm gonna start. The story starts in August of 2016, and then I'm gonna kind of talk about a few things up until August of 2017, so the first year of owning her and being a team together. So basically I'm going to start this by why I came to be looking for a horse and how I came across her ad. So basically I grew up riding English and Western, jumping. I loved jumping, but eventually I got to the point where it was too expensive to do every discipline. So my parents told me that I had to choose one so that I could have one horse and focus on that and not be buying tack for tons of other things and entering everything. So it was a really hard decision because I really loved jumping, but I also thought that barrel racing would be fun. Keep in mind that I did not have, my dog's itching. I did not have barely any experience barrel racing at all. My only real experience with a barrel horse was one year at a Little Britches rodeo. I would enter whatever pony or horse I had at the time in every event just for fun, and it was, literally the best weekend of the year. It was so much fun. But one year I was offered to be lent a horse that was an actual barrel horse for the barrels and poles, so I said sure. I had one ride on her before, and then I entered her in the barrel racing and the barrel pole bending. Pole bending actually went really good. I think I placed actually at that rodeo, which was, kind of saying a lot because I never did pole bending or barrel racing. Barely, like there were little games days, but it's a lot different than an actual rodeo with people who are literally rodeoing all over the place their whole life. And so I was pretty proud of that. But when the barrel racing came, I literally, the run was a mess. I actually ran the horse straight into the first barrel. Totally my fault, and I'm pretty sure she actually had to jump over it on the way out, but so it was a mess. But I felt like I wanted more of that feeling, a horse that just loves its job, knows its job, and is just so obsessed with it and gets so excited. I felt like that's what I wanted. So at the end of the day, I did choose that I would like to do barrel racing over jumping. I did continue to do a little bit of jumping because I didn't have a barrel horse, but I stopped jumping when I was, I think, 15. So, I did not have a barrel horse. I actually bought a $500 horse, my first horse I ever bought myself. I was mowing lawns in order to afford to buy it. And then I ended up selling that horse. I got what I thought was a barrel prospect, but she didn't end up liking barrels, so I trained her and then I sold her. Well, actually, this story starts before I actually sold her. So basically, she was for sale and I had a buyer really interested. And so I thought that it was safe to start looking at horses. Little tip number 1, don't spend money you don't have yet. So don't start looking at horses unless you actually have the money in your hand and you're ready to buy, because it sucks to fall in love with a horse and then not be able to buy it. So I ended up seeing Dita's ad, and I'm going to put in a picture, the only picture I saw of her, and it's kind of funny. I don't know why I liked her so much when I first saw her ad. I think it was mostly her papers that I liked, but I just had a feeling in my gut, and I'm a gut feeling person. If it doesn't feel right, I don't do it, and if it does feel right, I do it no matter what. So I messaged the lady and I told her I was interested, but that I needed to sell my other horse first, and she told me, so this was August 2016 that I I was talking to her. Told her I had to sell my other horse, and she told me she was not gonna hold the horse for me, which I didn't really expect anyway, but I thought mine was gonna sell quick, and so she said she's going to a trainer at the end of the month, and then her price will increase, which would have been horrible for me because I wouldn't have been able to afford her after she went to the trainer. So I was kind of in a rush panic mode. And then the sale on my other horse fell through. So I was heartbroken, and I told the lady, sorry, but I won't be able to buy her, so just go ahead and send her off to the trainer. And so that was kind of done, and I thought, okay, well, I won't have this nice golden horse, and that was Dita. And I had actually, her name is Tadita. Her registered name is Deciders Dash to Gold. I named her Tadita because I looked it up and it meant one who runs. Well, I just looked up names and I found it and it meant one who runs. And the last horse I had hated running. So I thought, I might make my chances better and call her Tadita, which means one who runs. So I had named her before right when I saw her ad. So I was obsessed. Not healthy, don't do this. But anyway, and she was literally the only horse I was interested in. I saw tons of ads and I just wasn't interested. So anyways, flash forward a couple months, we're in October, and my horse finally ends up selling. So, I post an ISO ad. I didn't even try to message the lady again. I just posted an ISO ad, listed the things I was looking for in a horse, and I got a ton of response. It was actually quite overwhelming, but I ended up getting a message back from the lady who had Dita. And she said, I haven't sent the horse away for training. It makes me feel bad to not message you because your ISO ad looks exactly like this horse that I have. And she had not even been advertising her at that point. So I was like, okay, yeah, I still want her. I would really like her. I remember being literally out for dinner with my parents and saying, oh my goodness, my dream horse, the owner just messaged me back. She said she's still for sale and she wants me to have her. So anyways, but the issue was that still this horse was located about 16 hours away from where I lived, so I needed to transfer it. So she cost quite a bit, and I did pay it 100% myself. But I also needed to pay for transport, which I paid for as well. So the owner was willing to haul her from Dawson Creek, BC to Prince George, BC. And then I got a hauler to haul her from Prince George to Kamloops. I had a games day this particular day, October 2nd, 2016. I had a games day. It was a games day, the last one of the year. I ended up winning High Point on my sister's horse. And then after the games day, myself, my dad, my boyfriend, and my sister all went to Kamloops. Actually, my boyfriend wasn't with me, but he lived in Kamloops. I was in a long-distance relationship at the time, and we are not together. This is a story for another time. If you do want me to talk more about my love life or personal life, let me know, because that's also kind of crazy. But we met him there, and we hung out with him and waited, and then the trailer showed up. So I was so excited. And she unloaded, and my boyfriend and my sister both looked at me like I was crazy because the horse was fat as can be, shaggy, looked like nothing, her bone, she looked horrible. Her neck was like a pin neck, and she had a big belly, and that was it. And my boyfriend and my sister were horrified, but I literally don't know how I saw through that, and I was in love. It was love at first sight. It was definitely. I took her out of that horse trailer. The horse trailer we had at the time was a blue bumper pole with a ramp. Honestly, and I was happy with that. At one rodeo, actually, this is flashing forward a couple of years, the ramp fell off the trailer while we were driving. That's how, rickety it is. So honestly, be thankful for what you have. Everybody starts somewhere. That's a whole nother topic. But I put the horse on, we drove home, and I'm going to put a picture up on, as soon as we got her home, the first picture I have of her, the first picture I have with her. And then, so the next day, I ride her for the first time. She had been started, but she hadn't been ridden a bunch. I can put some videos up before I got her, but I was so, I didn't know what to think after this ride, because she literally did not want to go forward. And I was like, I named you one who runs, and you're not even one who walks. Good, this is going good. But I trusted that she was bred to run barrels, and I thought it'll come. She was the laziest horse I'd ever ridden. I could barely get her past a walk. I know I trotted her a few steps our first ride, and that was it. So yeah, don't worry if your horse is starting at that point, because mine did too. And she was not nice. Like, she bucked and she did like weird things. Like, she wasn't very well broke, and I was 15, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But anyways, I started patterning her on the barrels. Again, I did not know what I was doing at all. I was patterning her off videos on YouTube. That was it. We didn't have a trainer that I could take lessons from where I was located. And so I literally patterned her off YouTube, and I probably did things wrong. I honestly wish that I had done some things differently, but you know, it happened, and we are where we are now. So that was October 3rd that I did the first ride, and then started patterning her for the next couple months. I actually entered her in her first barrel race on February 22nd, 2017. So that was like October, November, December, January, like almost 5 months later. So I had been riding her, but she was barely broke when I got her. So I not only had to get her nicely broke, but also patterning her at the same time. And so it was about 5 months later, and I will put in the video. It's very bad quality, but I want to show you that it hasn't always been, you know, butterflies and sunshine and happiness. We started somewhere too, but I started her pretty slowly, so we entered her first barrel race, and then my dream was to rodeo. This particular year, it was very I want to say like it was good timing, but it was also like everything had to be rushed, because this was my last year where I was eligible to do the youth barrel racing in our rodeo circuit for BC. So I was like dead set on getting my membership and racing her for my last youth year, because I knew that the competition would be a lot more stiff if I had just waited until I was in a ladies barrel racer, like open. And if I did take her to these rodeos, she could see everything, get used to the atmosphere, get used to long trailer rides, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. But my mom knew that I didn't know anything about rodeo, neither did anyone else in my family. My horse was very green. She didn't want me to do it. But my dad, you know, said, like, as long as you pay the entries, you buy the membership, you pay for the gas, you plan it all out, I'll drive you. So that was kind of my saving grace. I'm so thankful for my dad. He literally took me to any rodeo that I picked, and we have broken down on the side of the road. You know, we've gone through all the things. We've gotten lost. I was too shy to ask, you know, other people, like, where exactly is the rodeo ground, so I would just take us to the town and hope there were signs to follow. So anyways, we were in rodeos. I'm going to put a clip of my very first rodeo with my horse, which was April 23rd, 2017.
Ready? Keep it coming.
So I had her for like 6 months at this time, and this was both of our first rodeo. The run was not nice at all. However, if you compare it to the first barrel run that I ever made that I showed you, there is definitely improvement there. But the number one thing is that this was an indoor rodeo. It was the first of the year. The alleyway was very skinny, and there were bucking stock on either side. It went into a very small arena. Literally, you see the first barrel, you're at it like within like a second, it felt like. And then not only that, but there's huge grandstands that were filled. So I remember coming out of that arena, the winning time for the ladies barrel racing was, I believe, a 13.7. Winning time for the youth was a 14.0. I ran a 16.9, but my goal was to run in the 16s. That's like how like low I was shooting. I remember coming out of that arena with tears in my eyes because I was so proud of my horse for walking into the arena and meeting our goal. And actually now our fastest time in that arena is like I think a 14.2 or 14.3. So pretty fast and up there with everybody else now, but that was our first run in a rodeo. So we continued, then that was our very first rodeo of the year. We continued racing the rest of the year. I didn't win any money. My horse did normal baby horse things at the rodeos. It wasn't smooth. Seasoning was never smooth for her. She did different things at every rodeo, so it's like she would do one thing, I'd go home and fix that, and then she'd do something else. So it was really hard, and I didn't have anybody helping me, so I just had to figure it out myself, look online. I did take her in a few clinics, but there's only so much you can accomplish in a 3-day clinic, 2 or 3-day clinic. So anyways, by August we've gone in every rodeo that was in driving, that was like not unrealistic to go to. And it was a rodeo that was closest to our hometown. Now, funny enough, I actually had never raced her in that arena before, but it was like basically our hometown rodeo for the year. And I remember like being so chill, just, this is just another seasoning run for my horse. I didn't push her, I just let her go. And we ended up winning the youth barrel racing, and I was absolutely astonished. I remember I didn't know that I was winning it. And I got back to my trailer, and my boyfriend at the time came over to me and he said, like, I think you're winning it. Like, I think you're leading it. And I was like, no, you're kidding. Like, you're lying to me. And he's like, no, like, you are. So we ended up winning that rodeo, and I'm going to play the video. So funny enough for us, actually, that one rodeo did give out buckles for the winner in every event. So we actually won a buckle. So that was the first buckle we ever won together. Technically the second, but the first one was a season buckle that I had actually been collecting points for with another horse. And so I'm not counting that, even though technically I was riding her the race that I was presented the buckle, and those points did go towards it, but I count this as her first buckle that she ever won. So we won that rodeo, and that was our first year barrel racing. Basically at the end of that season, I just gave her some rest before the next season. So Dita and I have accomplished a lot more since then. We've won a lot of money together, but she is the only barrel horse I've ever had. I trained her myself. I can't imagine now ever getting someone else to pattern a horse on barrels for me, just because I think I went through so many rough patches with her that I don't know if there's any habit that I couldn't figure out a way to fix on a horse now, especially because I was 16 when I was doing most of her training, and I figured it out, and she's a good horse now. She is requiring maintenance now, so I'm giving her a break, but that horse is my best friend. We've overcome so much, and she's done so much for me. But I hope that gives you a little insight onto how I met her. And I know I'm getting quite a few new subscribers lately, but I hope if you're enjoying watching us together now, then you might enjoy hearing how we started. And if you are in at all the same boat, then I hope that this can give you some hope. As well as if you have any questions or you want any advice, let me know, because I would be more than happy to help you, because I kind of wish that I was, like that I had asked people for help along the way, because it might have gone a lot smoother. It probably would have. But I'm so happy that I did get Dita, and that she came into my life, and that everything worked out in the end. So like this video if you like it. leave me a comment if you'd like, and if you have any video you would like to see from me, then let me know that too. Subscribe if you haven't already, and go and hug your horse, honestly. We don't even deserve them. There's something special about a horse. Thank you for watching.